body of the State Community. He shall prepare annual report of the stewardship of the Executive Committee of the State Community for the attention of the General House to be read at the closing of general meetings. Every year. 4. The Assistant Secretary. A. He shall assist the Secretary in his duty. Observation. Principal officers, section 1. The principal officer are the trustees who are signatory to the State Community bank account. The financial secretary, the bank account of the finance includes the chairman, the financial secretary, and the treasurer, with the chairman as the principal signatory. Section 2. Executive Committee. The Executive Committee includes all the elected officers from among the State Community as the floor representative in the EXCO meetings. Here are the following duties among others. A. To take decision for and on behalf of the State Community members in the matters that may not necessarily require the attention of the General House. B. There shall do all that is necessary, all that is reasonable, the limit of this constitution to achieve the aim and objective of the State Community. C. There shall have the authority to dissolve any standing committee appointed by the General House when the need arises with the approval of the General House. Article 8. Ad hoc committee. A. The Executive State Community constitutionally approved an ad hoc committee to be set up when the need arises. B. Such committee shall be answerable to the General House. C. Any ad hoc committee appointed by the General House and shall be dissolved immediately after the completion of their duties. D. The chairman will report to the executive have power to dissolve any ad hoc committee set up by the General House if there is indication from the purpose for which it was set up, but have no power to replace or set up another one. Article 9. Tenure of office. Article 9. Tenure of office. A. The elected officers shall hold their post for a period of 3 consecutive years and shall be eligible to recontest for second consecutive terms. B. Election shall be held immediately the State Community Executive Committee is dissolved. C. The election of officers shall be by the members present at the meeting. D. Election shall be by secret ballot or by a show of hands system. D. The vote of no confidence is cast is supported by at least the third majority of the members, such as an elected officer shall be deemed to have been removed if found quality of contract or supporting himself in a manner capable of embarrassing the State Community or the or negligence of duty for which such officer was elected. Article Article 10, designation. A member shall resign his membership of the consent community provided A. He shall not owe the Ebonyi State community any arrears, or he must clear all his arrears before resigning. B. He shall give at least 1 month written notice of his intention to resign. C. He shall also hand over all the properties of Ebonyi State community in his possession. D. He shall have no claim upon any property of Ebonyi State community. Article 11, Welfare Scheme. Article 11, Welfare Scheme. A. The Ebonyi State community Yampa endorses welfare scheme to foresee the welfare of its members in the time of need. B. The welfare committee will only attend to any financial member case, provided it is not a criminal case. C. Such case will be sure that the Ebonyi State community will finance the bailout of the member, after which him, the victim, will be given time to pay back all the money spent by the Ebonyi State community. D. The welfare committee will also pay visitation to any financial member who is seriously sick or in the hospital care. Such visit will be made with valuable items worth 10,000 naira only, or cash, and report at the general meeting of the Ebonyi State community. Article 12, indiscipline. A. Noise making, disturbance during meeting, failure to use the particular function address, use of foul language, and quarreling during meetings shall be punished on the spot, considerable, and the chairman can use his discretion. Such fine cannot exceed the sum of 500 naira only. B. Expose drunkenness during meeting attract a fine of 1 carton of beer or the equivalent amount in cash. D. Fighting during meetings in gathering or anywhere with your fellow members will attract a fine of 5,000 naira only, with 1 carton of beer to the offender after the judgment. Mom, you understand? Yes.
Fighting, man. You don't know.
Fighting, yes, you see, fighting during meeting or in the gathering, or anywhere.
Anywhere.
With your fellow members will attract a fine of 5,000 naira with 1 carton of beer.
Yeah.
To the offender after the judgment. D. All cases of sabotage of trust, malicious gossip, and gross misconduct can be referred to the executive committee that will look into it and recommend appropriate disciplinary action to the general house. E. Any member who embezzles a community meeting fund or property will attract the use of any available constitutional means by the Ebonyi State community to make sure he pay back such money or property, after which he will be fined the sum of 20,000 naira to the Ebonyi State community. Article 13, indiscipline. A. Any of the elected officer who failed to perform his duties as expected by the third majority of the General House, shall be voted out after the second warning by the State Community Executive Committee. However, he shall pay a certain sum of fine before being voted out. B. Any member of the Ogun State Community who calls any law enforcement agency to his fellow member over a case of civil matters without first obtaining clearance from the Ogun State Community Executive Committee or other appropriate committee shall pay a fine of 10,000 naira only and shall be responsible to withdraw the said matter from the law authority or the law enforcement agency. C. Any registered member into a volunteer community who fails to pay his dues as when due for the period of 4 months shall stand to forfeit all the benefits due for him from the volunteer community member in the event of any need for such benefit until he clears his dues. D. Any member of the volunteer community who fails to carry out the assignment given to him without a very genuine reason shall be made to pay an appropriate fine commensurate with the degree of the assignment. Without assignment. If any member of the volunteer community who fails to comply with sorry, let me repeat that again. If any member of a volunteer community who fails to comply with the 2 constitutional judgments passed against him shall be made to face a more severe penalty, provided the appropriate authority or persons handle the judgment. Article 14, Election and By-Election, Section 1. A. Election shall be held during the second general meeting of the Ogun State Community at the correspondence expiration of the tenure of office. The executive committee shall be dissolved before election of the new house. B. An electoral committee of 3 members, including its chairman, shall be appointed by the General House to conduct election and fill all vacant posts immediately after announcement of the candidates, and must also include financial members. Nomination is absent is allowed. Nomination is absent is allowed. E. Voting shall be by open ballot or show of hands, and candidates shall be declared the winner if he secure the highest vote cast. D. In the event of head-to-head, the voting shall be repeated. E. All handover notes, including the recent audit account of the Ogun State Community, shall be completed and handed over to the new officers on assumption date, on assumption of their duty. Section 2. By-election. By-election can be conducted to fill any existing vacant post. B. It shall be conducted to determine a clear winner. Appointed by a committee meeting. D. Such committee shall submit his report within the stipulated period of 1 month. C. No member of the executive shall be appointed as a member of the committee. Article 16. Loan scheme. A. Our state committee meeting agreed to give loan to each financial member and will attract fine 5% interest per thousand naira for stipulated period of 1 month, of 2 months. Sorry. B. Failure to pay the interest in the specified period of 2 months shall attract a compound interest of 2,500 naira only for the subsequent months. C. The applicant must be a financial member of the consent community and shall provide one trustee that must as well be financial member of the consent community. D. Loan cannot be given to any member that is indebted to the consent community. E. All loans shall be paid back in full before the end of every current financial year. Article 17. Life benefit. Section 1. A. Any Ebonyi State community A. Any Ebonyi State community meeting member financially up to date who wish to invite us officially for any ceremony such as 1. Naming ceremony, traditional marriage or housewarming. 2. The Ebonyi State community will grant 3-person invitations per year according to their first, second, and third invitation reports. 3. The invitation must come officially 1 month before the occasion. Section 2. Method of invitation. 1. A new member must have stayed a minimum of 2 years as a consent community member before his beneficial right will be due for him. 2. Letter of invitation shall be addressed to the secretary for an emergency call, or the invitation should be presented in the meeting day by the host. 3. The host member shall invite the consent community with 4 pieces of native kola nuts and 1 carton of beer. Section 3. Attendance requirement. 1. All members shall compulsorily attend. 2. A compulsory levy of 4,000 naira only for each member. 3. Any member who fails to pay the levy before the date shall pay with a fine of 4,000 naira in addition. 4. The donation of 150,000 naira only will be given to the host member. Section 4. Method of host. 1. 1 big size of kola, fufu, or semovita swallow, and a soup with sufficient juice. 2. 1 medium size of kola rice with sufficient meat in the stew. 3. 3 cartons of beer. 4. 1 carton of Maltina or Amstel malt. 5. If the occasion is taking place outside Ampa, every member shall take the responsibility of transportation. 6. Any member who deliberately fails to attend such occasion without any urgent reason shall pay a fine of 5,000 naira only. 7. If the host member fails the hosting method by presenting to the consent community unacceptable items in order to fulfill the requirements of the consent community, such person will pay a fine of 10,000 naira. Section 5. Transfer and other merit awards. 1. Devon State Community approve the decoration of the patron of the Devon State Community Amba. 2. Any financial member up to date financially that happens to be on transfer, such member shall have a group of photographs with members to commemorate the occasion, and the cash of 20,000 naira only will be given to the member. Article 8. Death benefits. Section 1. A. If any financial member up to date dies here in Nampa, the Ebonyi community will make sure the deceased is taken to his hometown. B. If any member financially up to date died at his hometown, the Ebonyi community will attend the member's burial. Section 2. Attendance requirements. A. All members must compulsorily attend the burial of any dead member. B. The compulsory levy of 2,000 naira for each member. B. Any member who fails to pay before the date will pay a fine of 2,000 naira. D. Any member who deliberately fails to attend such burial without reporting to it will pay a fine of 20,000 naira. E. In the case of transportation, every member will take the responsibility of the issue. Section 3. Beneficial right of the member's wife. Beneficial right of the dead member. Sorry. 3. 3 photos of Nagabia. B. Cash donation of 50,000 naira only to be given to the deceased family. C. If the death member is indebted to a Ebonyi community, such debt will be deducted from the death member's benefit before giving the remaining money to the deceased family. Section 4. Beneficial right of member's wife. A. If a member's wife died here in Apa, the Ebonyi community will accompany the body to her hometown. B. If the member's wife died at her hometown, the Ebonyi community will dedicate members that will fill one Ignatius box to pay the husband a condolence visit at his hometown with a cash donation of 50,000 naira only to be given to the husband and 2 cartons of beer. C. All expenses shall be made from the union force. D. In the case of transportation, such member will take the responsibility. Section 5. Attendance requirement and beneficial right of the members' parents. A. Any parent of any parent of the member applied by an official letter or invitation or information was received from the member, the state will attend such burial. B. The delegate